Hello and welcome to this very interesting and unique session on Inspo Vibes with SK. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting concept of a thriver. A thriver? Many of you would wonder what the hell is that? We've heard of survivors, but thriver? Yes, you heard it right. So, the transformation from being a victim to being a survivor of an adversity to being a thriver is what we are going to talk about. And joining us today is one live example of a thriver. Meet Colonel Jeet Singh Gill, retired. Please say hello to our audience.
Hello, I'm Carnegie. Gentlemen, please, the life is full of surprises. The more you delve into it, more it surprises you, throws surprises on you. But you have to be active to encash on those running opportunities. As far as my life started in Pakistan, where I was born, and I was 1.5 year old that time, when we migrated to the present Punjab. It is something like, that um, being such a small child, I could not remember what happened, all those things. But after a few years, my mother used to tell me that I was a little heavy chap. I could not walk, so they put me on the back of buffalo and came to India, the present Punjab.
Wow. So, at the age of just about 2 years, was the first adversity that hit him, which was the partition. At that age, they moved from Pakistan to Punjab in India, and because he was so small, so he was riding on a buffalo across the border, and they came and settled down in Punjab. And from there began the journey to not just being a victim of partition, coming from a humble agricultural background, being labeled as settlers, to moving on to being the first one to get an education, join the school, and not just the school, complete a BSc, a graduation degree in those times, and then even clear the selection for OTA. So that is why we call him a thriver. That he did not just let life go by, that we are settlers, we don't know, my family is farmers, everybody is uneducated, so why would I stretch myself and educate? So I think we would like to know who was that one person in your life in those times who showed you the path of education to transform your life. Would you like to tell us about that?
While in Punjab, we were kindergarten children. Few of us used to have nothing doing, so we used to play around. And one of us was little elderly chap. He was studying in the fourth class. He will always tell us, "Come with me to the school," and we used to go and play in the school. But the teacher was not accepting us. So, doing like this, we entered the primary school of the village, where one of the teacher was very dedicated, Master Kashori Lal. Then one day he called us all. He said, "You people get admitted since you are every day coming to the school." My father was called. He was told to come and give the details so that I get enrolled in the junior, the class, first class, uh, kachi you call it.
Punjabi mein
So I got enrolled in that. He asked the father that what will be his age, because since we were migratories, we did not know birth certificate and all. So he gave my age as something around 5 years. But the teacher Kishori Lal, he said he can't be admitted then. He's young. He has to complete seven. He has to complete 7 years. So my father said, "Okay, you increase the age by 2 years." So my birth date from 46 was increased to 44, and that's where I got enrolled in the primary school. Did the primary under his guidance and all. Entered the high school, which was again a school 3 to 4 kilometers away from that. There again, I was okay in the studies, but doing well in the studies. So one of the teacher, he was very fond of me. He told me that you continue doing, but because of the domestic problem and the poverty of the house, I was unable to support the education. So he came to help me. He said, okay, no, don't worry, I will help you. And he brought me up to the 10th class like this. I passed my 10th class in the topping the class, first class, obtaining top of on the first marks, 627 out of 800.
You still remember the mark? Wow.
So thereafter we were supposed to go to college.
Huh.
So I was asked to. College was about 8 to 10 kilometers away from the village, and we had to go on cycle to that. I did not have any where enough funds to buy a new cycle. So we got into a bargain with somebody to buy a old cycle, which was that time cost me 40 rupees only. It had only two wheels and tire, but we used to make do with that cycle
Wow.
and reach the admission area. It is one of the surprising thing. At the art side, there was first window saying, "Art is a science, no less, no more." No, I did not know art is a science, no less, no more. So I thought, okay, it is a science group. I entered into that. One of the teacher, good teacher, he told me, what is your aim? I said, I want to study science. He said, this is art group. Go to the next table.
Next window.
So I went to the next table, got enrolled as a science student. Thereafter, I did my science graduation from there. There were so many things, ups and downs. The life was not as good. The things were not going well, but still I continued. Why? Because of one is because of poverty. The second one is the family not able to support because they were not as good. Thereafter, I did my graduation and
Acha.
waiting for the results and all. I was asked one of my old teacher to come to his high school, and teach the students science group. So I was there employed for 1 year. That time, the 65 operation of India Pakistan was over, and the government opened up short service for people for 5 years. One day in the Tribune paper, he studied this, and he asked me, "What's your date of birth?" I gave him that thing. He said, "You are eligible to go for short service." And we filled up the application in hand and sent it. I was called at Ambala, sub area, for the preliminary interview. We had two written papers and interview of the brigadier, sub area commander. He selected me, sent to the SSB Merit. There also I got selected, and ultimately in few months I reported at OTS Madras, which is called now OTA. Now I had studied science in English medium, but hesitation was there to speak English. So at the entry gate, people asked me, "Who are you? What are you here?" And I had two words only, yes, no, and nod. But anyway, after seeing the people, I knew the vocabulary. I had all those things with me. And slowly I picked up, and I was uh, conversing in good English.
Yes.
Thereafter, we passed out, and after that, the life started in the armed forces.
So, from crossing the border during partition on a buffalo to the gates of Officers Training Academy, Madras, and getting commissioned into the 2nd Maratha, which is an infantry battalion in the Indian Army. What an amazing journey. And now I'm sure you are slowly starting to understand why we call him a thriver, because in all the adversities that life threw at him, he chose to have a goal. He chose to be motivated from within. He chose the attitude of, I'm going to do something about it, and not just sit back and play the victim of the circumstances.